Hey guys, welcome to Viva Barca. Welcome to another interesting episode where we are going to be discussing on some updates, talking about some of our players on international duty. This one comes as a bad news for us, talking about injury problems as Frankie de Jong and Jules Kounde has been confirmed injured. We're going to be discussing on the updates of the severity of their injuries and also from their coaches, their national team coaches, who have also spoken about, how severe their injuries are. Jules Kounde suffered an injury yesterday, and the same night that he was playing, Frankie de Jong also suffered an injury. Memphis Depay as well suffered an injury. Let's not forget, Memphis Depay also has a knock. So we're going to be discussing on what their national team coaches had to say about their injuries in yesterday's game. So guys, as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. A month into the new season, Barcelona were dealing with players' fitness quite well. Nobody except Sergio Roberto had picked up any concerning injury, with the new medical care regime of the club being held highly. However, as is tradition, the international break comes with immediate bad news. Playing for France against Austria, Jules Kounde picked up an injury in the 23rd minute. He had to be substituted off the pitch with the help of a doctor. French national team coach Didier Deschamps confirmed that it is a thigh injury, but the extent of it is still unknown. The good news, however, is that Kounde did not have to be stretched off. Barely 20 minutes after this, Frankie de Jong was taken off at halftime for the Netherlands. The reasons for this decision is not still clear though. Matters have become worse regardless, though, since Memphis Depay seems to have pulled his hamstring in the second half versus Poland. He had to be subbed off as well, and details about his injury will be released by Louis van Gaal during the post-game press conference. Barcelona have a bizarre schedule awaiting them in the month of October, with away trips to Real Madrid, Inter Milan, and Valencia awaiting them. Apart from this, they also host Villarreal, Athletic Club, and Bayern Munich in consecutive home games. However, this is exactly what Xavi and the administration prepared for before the season started. There is ample quality and quantity on the bench for Barcelona. They will have to hope that they don't face more trouble ahead. With the international break on the way, the first set of fixtures for the 2-week period kick off on Thursday night in Europe, and safe to say that it has caused a lot of concern within Barcelona camp. The Blaugrana have the most number of players called up for international duty during this break, with as many as 18 players away to represent their respective nations. And just one day in, several of the Barca stars have been struck down by injuries. Jules Kounde had to come off for France with muscle injury, while Memphis Depay picked up hamstring injury while against Poland. Soon after, his compatriot Frankie de Jong was also taken off by the Netherlands boss Louis van Gaal as he felt some discomfort. Following the Oranges 2-0 victory over the Poles, Van Gaal gave an update on the conditions of both Frankie de Jong and Memphis Depay. While the former seems to be okay, the same cannot be said of the latter. Talking about the Young, Van Gaal said, Frankie de Jong was taken off out of precaution. He was feeling tension in his muscle, which is why I took him off. But he told me that he expects to play against Belgium. As for Depay, the former Barca manager said, it's a shame that Memphis had to go off with injury. It doesn't bode well. I don't see him playing against Belgium. Javi Miguel of AS is reporting that both Depay and Kounde will return to Barca to undergo tests that will determine the extent of their injuries. As for the Young, he will continue with the Netherlands as his issue seems to be nothing serious. More updates should emerge later today. It's a real shame to see that just for the first day for international matches, Barcelona players, some of them have been facing serious issues. And, it's just unfortunate because this is a time where we needed those guys now, because the month of October will be so tight. Will be so tight. The schedule will be so tight, and it's just natural that some things like this happen when international duty comes. But we really needed those guys that we have a lot of schedule now to be played. Kounde was the one that really bothered me a lot, to be honest. Yesterday, when he left off, hoping that it's not serious, they're saying that it's a muscular discomfort, his thigh injury, sorry. And let's see if actually that will affect him for a long time. But let's hope that the injury will not be too serious for Kounde as well as for Memphis Depay, you know, and the two of them will likely go back to Barca according to reports to determine the extent of those injuries so that they can determine the number of weeks or days that perhaps I just wish it's just some days or some weeks, not for months, for them to be fit and return back to action at Barcelona. So I think their international duties is all but over, and it's just to see how long their injuries will look. So let's just hope that other injuries should not emerge, because all this, in fact, today there will be matches. No, till next week there will be matches for international duty. So let's just hope that other players from Barca will be okay, will be fit, because I think Javi will be so disappointed and not so worried about how things have been so far. We had the most international call up to 18 Barca players were called up for international duty, the most by any club in the top 5 leagues. So luckily enough, in the transfer market, we see Javi going for a good bench for squad depth and two good players per position. And I think that strategy is the best thing that Javi have ever done since coming to Barca, because it will really help us a lot. With some of these players getting injured, it will make a lot of sense. At least it will not be too worrisome compared to how we were last season when we never had that good bench. But now that we have a very good squad, a good bench, even if those players are injured, their replacements are also top class players. So let's see how things are going to look like. Let's just see how it's going to be. But Memphis Depay will not be, will not be available again for the moment, as well as Jules Kounde. So it will be disturbing, no doubt, about their absence. So let's see how it's going to be. We have a tight schedule, big matches coming up to 9 matches in just a space of 4 weeks. The month of October have up to 9 games, which that's the moment when we really need our depth, make use of our depth that we have. And Javi, understandably, will be worried about the current situation. So let's hope that other players will be fit till the international break gets over. Frankie de Jong too also went off, but luckily enough, Luis Van Gaal just updated that it's nothing too serious, and Frankie de Jong will likely play the next game against Belgium. So I think Frankie de Jong will be fine, heading into the next game. So let's hope that he stays fit as well before the international break comes to an end. So guys, with that, we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.